Okay guys, so I'm browsing YouTube and I don't see anything on there about how to change the transmission fluid and filter on a Vortec. So I'm going to make one since I need to do it anyway. How often should you do this? They say every 100,000 miles on a 5.7, or if you have the 6 or the small, what is it, the 4.3. I do it about every 60 to 75,000 miles. Now we're not going to drain the torque converter completely. I'm not going to flush the system. I'm not going to go through the transmission hole and suck the fluid out of there. I'm actually going to pull the pan, we're going to clean it, we're going to replace the filter and gasket and put it back together. This particular filter just pops in and you'll see how easy that is to do. That's the gasket, extremely easy to do. And I don't know why they charge so much for this, but this actual kit from AutoZone was $9.99. And then the price of the fluid, which you know as well as I do, varies every single day. So we're only going to be adding about 4 to 5 quarts of transmission fluid because we're getting everything out of the pan, all the dirty stuff. The stuff that's in the front of the front pump, the stuff that's in the torque converter, that's still in there. So I'm not actually flushing the system. That fluid that has already ran through the old filter is still in there. And so I'm taking out the really bad stuff and leaving the so-so stuff. And again, it's just a service. It's not a full cleaning. If it was a flush, you're still, when you flush it, you still want to change the filter, which a lot of times they don't do. They just flush them, and that doesn't make any sense to me because you're pulling dirty oil out. You're not pulling the grit and grind, and if you have any metal in there, you're not pulling that out. So to me, this is the best way to do it every 100,000 miles. And again, I do it about every 70,000. So let's start by knowing what filter to get, what kit. You know, you need your make and model, and of course, and the year. But you also need to count the holes on the pan. This one is a 16 bolt pan. On Chevys you have 16 and 17. The most common one is the 16. And if they ask you deep or shallow, the 99 5.7, 97 to 2002 are all shallow. And the only difference is the length of this neck here on the filter. Everything else is about the same. So, alright, let's crawl underneath there and let's take the pan off. Okay, so we're going to have 16 bolts. They're all going to go around it just like you see in the gasket. Those are going to be 1/2-inch bolts. Now, when we pull this off, there's a couple things to consider. The shifter cable linkage here. Let me get underneath here. And this tin cover here. You can see where I've already pulled a couple of the bolts. This tin cover here is bent down towards the pan. So this pan, when it comes down, let me move back so you can see this. You're going to move the pan towards the passenger side down a little bit first. Then it is going to shift towards the passenger side and then come down. So when you get your drain pan under here, you want to put it right in this area towards the front right side of the vehicle, passenger side front, and take off that bolt first, and then take off the next one to its left, then go back to the right and take off that one. Go further up to the left, take off that one, back to the right and take off that one. Again, I'm facing the front of the vehicle right now. The hood is that direction and the back end is behind me, and I'm on the right corner. Trust me, do it this way. Don't pull any of the other corners first, and this is for any vehicle because you want this to drain away from you. And this pan's going to be full, so when you pull all these one by one, it's going to start dripping. Keep your drip pan directly underneath that and just let it pour in there and drip in there as it wants to until you feel comfortable that it's kind of sagging a little bit, and you can hold it up like that. And you can see how much it's already dropped. I've already drained it. You can see how much it's already dropped. Then I can hold it up there and pull the last bolts out. So let me go ahead and do that, and then we'll see what's inside this pan. Okay, so the pan is down. It's laying right here. I'm going to pull it out in a second, but I want to show you this. This is the inside of the transmission, valve body, etc. Right here is our filter. I've done nothing to this filter. It's set just like that. It looks loose, but that's the way they sit. Over here is the port where the filter plugs into. You're going to grab it with your hand like this and just wiggle the crap out of it until it comes down. And that's it. You're going to lose some more fluid, so make sure you have a drain pad underneath there. So now let's pull this out. Let me explain a couple things to you there. Okay, so we pulled the pan out and the filter out. I don't know if you can see all that, but that is like glittering like crazy. That's clutch plate and what they call hard material. The clutch disc is not that big of a deal. If you got clutch disc in there, that's kind of normal. This oil is so dirty. This vehicle's got 300,000 plus miles on it. And this is probably the 5th time I've done this. And honestly, it should have went out a long time ago, but it still hasn't. This flaky stuff here, this copper color and metal color that you see, is huge. That's a no-no. So I know I'm going to start having issues with this thing, but at this point we're just going to put it back together anyway. And the reason I'm going to go ahead and put it back together is because I have another transmission that I can redo anyway. So look how dark that is. Real nasty, nasty. So this filter is no good, obviously. We're going to throw it away. If you have metal flake like this, don't be too alarmed. I mean, it's bad and your transmission is probably going. But this particular transmission, this 4L80E, is so strong. If this was a Japanese-made vehicle, or if this was you know, some foreign car, if this was a Hyundai, and I'm not knocking them or anything, but if I seen this fluid in a Hyundai or a Honda or anything like that, or even Toyota, this color right here, I would change the transmission. I would have it rebuilt. But because this is the engine that it is and the tranny that it is, it don't scare me. I've been dealing with Vortecs for a long time, and I've been dealing with 4L80Es and 60Es for a long time, and it don't scare me at all. So now we're going to get the gasket off. We're going to clean the pan and put the new gasket on. Now keep in mind, where this gasket goes onto the tranny, we're going to clean that area as well. We are not going to use any blue glue. We are not going to use any type of glue material, anything on this pan. We are not going to over tighten these bolts, because this is why they leak. People think they have to crank them down so tight, and you really don't have to. Let me show you a rule of thumb when you're tightening these bolts. Here's your ratchet, here's your socket. Of course, I got a bolt stuck in there from a previous job, but here's how I'm going to grab it, just like that. And I'm going to tighten it with one hand, as tight as I can. And that's as tight as you get these bolts. I don't know the pounds. If you want to look it up, you can, but that's a rule of thumb. Don't ever grab it down here and crank it tight when you're tightening up pan bolts to go to a transmission. Simply grab it like that, get it as snug as you can with one hand, not two. And don't hold another hand down there at the other end of the handle, just like that. So run them all in, and then just go around and snug them up that tight. That's all you do on a transmission pan. And this is why transmission pans leak so much, because people fear, oh, they're going to leak. They always leak, so they go even tighter. And if you see any damage around the edge here, what you can do after you clean it is flip this over, lay it down, and ping it. It's called pinging. And let me show you what that is. Okay, this is pinging. Flip your pan over. This is after you've cleaned the gasket as well. Every single circle right there, you can see these ones are nice and flat. But if you have a ding there because somebody's over tightened it, you're going to ping it. You're just going to give it a little tiny tap, solid and flat, on each one. And that's all you're going to do. Just flatten it. Just ping it is what it's called. So now we're going to go ahead and clean the pan. And this is where I'm going to get a lot of comments and a lot of, you're crazy, you're insane, yada yada. I don't do a whole lot with chemicals and stuff like that. So I'm going to show you how I actually clean my pan. And again, everybody's probably going to wig out, and I'm going to get a lot of stupid comments, but it's what I do. Let me get the light on. Okay, we're back with the light. Now we're going to clean this. There's a lot of material in here you can see that needs cleaned. The gasket needs to come off. Sometimes you get lucky when you peel the gasket and all of it comes with it. Sometimes it don't. So we might have to use a wire brush on that. But here we go. This is how I clean them. I take dirt and I throw them in there. And I know it sounds stupid, and I know I've had a lot of comments in the past, but this is just how I do it. Then I take the dirt and I literally scratch it around everywhere. And just rub it in good. Throw this dirt away, don't throw it back in your yard. Put it in a bag and throw it out. I don't have a whole lot of dirt here. Anyway, just go around and just scratch the heck out of it. You're not going to hurt this pan. Scratch, scratch, scratch. And when you get done scratching it, you're going to rinse it out with a hose. The important part is, get that magnet real good too. Get all the dust off of that. The important part is when you rinse it, you're just going to rinse it with a water hose and clean it out after you scoop up all your dirt here and throw that in the trash, and then just rinse it with a water hose. The important part is to make sure that you've rinsed it and you don't have even one grain of dirt in there, because we don't want that in the pan. And as long as you're careful, you're going to be fine. Just hit it with the hose. But this is going to shine up this pan like you wouldn't believe. And you can see the back of it there as I dump it. Now I need to scrape that in the trash. You can see how bad it is on the back of it too. And watch when I get done with this. You'll see. Alright, I'll be back in a couple minutes. Okay, I'm back, but just for a second, I wanted to explain this to you. The back side where that gasket is, if you don't have a wire brush to clean it too, just scrape it back and forth on the dirt like that. You'd be surprised how quick that gets clean. So, okay, now I'll be back in a couple seconds. Okay guys, so I have scratched the, look at all the gasket. I had scratched the $2 out of this thing. So now we're going to take it over to the water hose. And, and I'm going to show you exactly how well this works now. Although it's dark out here, I don't know. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. But let me find the water hose here. You see the end of it. So let me turn the water on. And this is just going to measure. And I know I'm going to get a lot of comments on this from people who are mechanics and professionals who use all those expensive tools because they want you to come to their shop. And so they're not going to like this, but they must be needing to know something, otherwise they wouldn't be watching this video. So maybe we'll educate them too. I don't know if you can see that or not because it's so dark. And just look at what that dirt has done to this thing. Let me flop it over here. I don't know if you can see that or not. You can see how clean that is, how pristine and perfect. It's a beautiful pan. It's going to be brand new here in a second. So anyway, that's how you clean it. So let me finish rinsing this off and leave your comments to yourself if you're a professional. I'm sure you're just advertising. So anyway, let me clean this off. We'll be right back in the garage. Okay, so we're back, and all we're going to do now is just dry it out, wipe it out really clean, and then we'll put the gasket on and stick it on. So just get all the water off of it too. Water is just as bad as dust and dirt, so get that out of there too. So let me dry it off real good, and we'll get ready to put it in there. Isn't that a beautiful pan? I mean, for dirt, that's so clean. I don't know why you have to spend all that money on that other stuff. I mean, I know they do because they do them, you know, I don't know, 5, 6 of these a day. But when you're just doing your own, this is, you know me, it's all about saving money and just the easiest and cheapest way to do it. And it still works, these processes. So, all right, let me get this dried off. Okay, I'm sorry that this video is so long. It doesn't have to be this long. I'm just trying to explain everything in detail. So here we are with our clean pan. Make sure you clean around this magnet really good because some dirt will stick to it because of the transmission fluid, not necessarily the magnet, and then it will come off. And you can see even after wiping it out, I still got all this brake dust out of there after it was clean. That was from wiping it. So, all right, so our next process is simple. The hardest thing you're going to do today is you're going to be cleaning this pan with that dirt, and that's so simple that way. But truthfully, that is the hardest part of this entire process. And the only tools you're going to use for this entire process is maybe a screwdriver or razor blade to get some of this off the gasket, but mine came right off. But if yours is done by somebody else and it's over torqued, you may have to. So other than that, I think I've used a 1/2 inch ratchet, right? Yeah, that's it. Just a 1/2 inch ratchet. That's the only thing, that's the only tool. I didn't have no big steam cleaning tool. I didn't have impacts and stuff like that. So just simple and a 1/2 inch socket. And these guys want to charge $100 for this, hundreds of dollars in some cases. Okay, here's another reason why we're not going to use blue glue, because Chevy is smart. American made product, baby. See how small that hole is? See how large that hole is? That's because the bolt can go through that hole. And then the gasket needs to be pushed down through that hole. I'm going to have to set you down for a minute, I think. Just a second. All right, needed 2 hands to push it. So there you go. You see that bolt is just a little bit bigger than the hole on the gasket. They do that on purpose so that when you get up underneath there and you're trying to hold it, the gasket is not sliding out on you. You get some Japanese vehicle, once again, I'm sorry to talk so bad about their stuff, but their product sucks. That's my opinion. American made, we think about this stuff when we're making it. Our manufacturers are awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and stick all the bolts in there. Then my gasket is not going to shift left or right on me. Piece of cake. All right, so tell me that ain't smart. Just intelligent. So all of our bolts are in there now. So we'll grab our new filter now. And we'll go back underneath. We're ready to install this stuff just as quick as we took it off. Again, the cleaning process is the hardest. So let's get up under there. Okay, so we're back. So I'm going to show you how to put the filter in there first. Now, if you can see all that tranny fluid wanting to drip, I've been underneath vehicles before with people who grab terry cloth, grab paper towel, whatever, and they wipe that off. don't wipe it off, leave it alone. If you get one little piece of lint in there from your towel, that is so much worse than that old fluid. This old fluid will be filtered by the new filter. Just let the filter do its job. Don't worry about it, leave it sit in there. So, now we got our filter here. If you look right up on the front right there, if I can find the hole, there it is. That's just going to poke right up in there. That's it. That sleeve, you can see right there, that little rubber sleeve, that's just going to give us a little pop. Make sure that you look up in there and the old one's not in there. I didn't check the old filter to see if it was in there. Sometimes they don't come out with the old filter, so I didn't fill it in there. So we're going to go ahead and pop it up in there. And it may be in there. Let me go check the old filter. There we go. So the old filter don't have that lip on there. I'm glad that happened so you can see this. So at this point now, we're going to use a second tool. So let me grab something to pull it out, and it really doesn't matter what. Screwdriver. So we have used that 1/2-inch socket, and now we're going to use a screwdriver. So now we're not going to be extremely difficult or hard on this. We're just going to reach up in there and give it a nice little tug on an angle like that. I don't know if I can do this with one hand, but I wanted you to see it when it came out. I can't. I gotta put the phone down. Be right back. Okay, so the little booger finally came out. There it is there. It looks just like the other ring that's right there on the edge of that filter. So now we can put it up in there. So I'm glad that happened so that you weren't thinking you were crazy when you were trying to get that filter up in there. Oh, he just slid it right in there. It popped right in, and mine won't do that. So, all right, so we're just going to stick it up in that hole, right where that pipe is. I'm going to give it a little tap, just like that. And that's it. So now that's going to, again, it's going to sag like the other one. That's normal. Okay, let me grab the pan. Okay, so I got the pan up there, and I have snugged up just one bolt right here on the back. You can see all those I haven't even touched yet. And one on the front, I've just snugged up just a little bit. So none of these bolts are you going to tighten up yet. You don't want to tighten any until you know all of them are in a couple of threads. And the reason is because it'll put a pickle on it, a little bind, and you won't be able to get it. So once you feel it go in about 3 threads, just like that, go to the next one and the next one. And just go around and do all that first. And then we'll snug them up with the ratchet. Remember that trick in the beginning with the ratchet. Do not over tighten these bolts. So, all right, let me go around and we're just going to snug all these about 2-3 turns, and then I'll grab that ratchet. Okay, so I got them all finger snug, about 2 or 3 turns, and then I went down with the ratchet, or I'm going to go down with the ratchet right now. See how I'm tightening it with just that one hand? Leave the handle stick out. And I'm going to go around and I'm going to do every single one of them like that until they're snug. And that's as tight as I'm going to go. And I kind of work my way. I start in the corner, work my way this way a bolt, that way a bolt, this way a bolt, that way a bolt, this way a bolt, etc. And that's just so it squeezes it down evenly. So, all right, so let me do that. We'll snug them all up. Okay, so I went around and I've done that to all of them, just like we talked about. One hand on the ratchet and just as tight as you can. If you're not a very strong person, and I've been doing this a lot, so maybe my hands have gotten a little stronger. I don't know. So if you want to, go ahead and give it another 1/4 turn after that with your other hand, just to confirm it. But if you're a stout guy, then just do that. So all right, let's go up there and let's get some fluid in this thing. Okay, looks like I've lied to you again. We're going to use one more tool, the funnel. So this entire process has been that 1/2-inch drive with a 3/8 extension, a 3-inch extension on 3/8. A flathead screwdriver, and that's because that darn filter thing didn't come out, that sleeve, and a funnel. So that's our 3 tools. So next time you decide to pay somebody, I don't know what it is. I don't even know what the going rate is. Is it $20? Is it $100? Is it $140 to do a transmission filter change? Think about it. I hope you're going to attempt this by yourself. So we're going to poke the filter in there. We're going to start off by pouring 3 quarts of transmission fluid in there. The reason we're going to do 3, I know this one's going to hold 4 quarts, but We're going to do 3, and then we are going to start it up, and we're going to shift it a couple times. Reverse, on into drive, on into reverse. You don't need to drive anywhere. Just need to get that front pump, torque converter, all that stuff moving. So just shift it a couple of times, put it back in park, and then come out, put your dipstick back in it, and check the fluid level while it's running. This is not your oil. Your oil is determined by how much is in the pan. The transmission fluid is determined by how much is left in the pan after the front pump and the torque converter is full. So, and that cold and hot mark on there does not mean off and on for the engine. Cold means that you're starting it cold, running it cold, and hot means that you're checking it, and hot means that you're checking it hot. Either way, this engine needs to be running when you check it. All transmission fluid, just about, needs to be running while you check it. So, again, 3 quarts in there right now. Going to go inside, start it up, put it in reverse, put it in drive, put it in reverse, put it in drive, put it in park, leave it running, come out, and let's check that fluid level. Okay, so I checked it, and it was about a quart low, about 1/8 of a quart low. So actually I used the whole 4 quarts, just shy of 4 quarts. Somebody will be a smart ass and leave a comment, well, the 5.7 liter when draining the pan, if it's a large pan or a 16-volt pan, will be 3.8 quarts. So we'll get the answer that way. But I'm pretty sure right around 4 quarts is going to be fine. You don't want to be too full, like a half a quart to a quart overflow full, because that's too much pressure for it. One other thing I want to tell you, let me shut this off. I could already tell this thing was shifting a lot better. So that little bit of metal flakes I'm not concerned with. I'll throw it in reverse. She jumps right in. Before it was slipping a little bit, and that's why we're changing it. But so that clearly is going to help the situation a little bit. So that little bit of clutch dust and stuff we've seen in there, I didn't figure was going to be too much of an issue. Here's one thing I do want to tell you though. When you're ready to, and you poured the fluid in there and you're ready to start it up, throw it in reverse first. Start it up, put it in reverse, and give it just a little bit of gas, because that pump will run backwards for a split second and bleh, everything into the bottom of that pan. Then that magnet can do its job and the filter can do its job. So if you do have anything that's stuck up against the valve body or something trying to work its way through the transmission, you may loosen it up and put it in the pan where it belongs, before the filter and onto that magnet. And then it will, the filter will do its job and filter it from going back in there again. So go ahead and throw it in reverse, give it about maybe 1400 RPMs, and just rev it up like vroom, and that's it. And then go back into neutral, drive, reverse again, drive again, park, leave it running, come check it, and you'll find out that you were 0.8 of a quart low, a little over 3/4 of a quart, and then you'll add the rest of it like I did, and you'll be good to go. Now, if you got a 4.6 liter, 4.3, whatever it is, the other Chevy Vortec, the 6-cylinder, it's going to take a little bit less transmission fluid. So just put a couple quarts in and then check it, and etc. So I hope this video helped you out. If you have any comments, go ahead and leave them. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And please give it a thumbs up if you like it. And if anybody needs any videos made, especially on Chevy, let me know. I got several of them out here, and I'm all about helping people figure out how to do these things inexpensive and you know, save a buck and get educated as well. So, and if you know anything that I don't know, something that I didn't add, maybe a little trick, you know my little tricks I've been showing you. If you got one, please leave it, because I want to learn them all. Thanks again for watching, guys. Bye.